Midnight quiet. Picture rural Punjab, May 9th, 2025. Maybe a dog barking somewhere, cicadas humming, that kind of stillness.
Yeah, that deep rural quiet.
Then, bam, 1:30 in the morning, the silence is just shattered, multiple violent explosions.
Not just one bang, several.
Exactly. And reports start coming in fast. Hoshiarpur, this village, Kamaki Devi, and then way down south in Bathinda near Beed Talab.
It's the kind of noise that jolts you awake instantly, heart pounding.
Absolutely jarring. And what actually fell from the sky afterwards. Well, that's where things get really strange.
Not fireworks, clearly.
No way. We're talking actual pieces of missile, chunks of metal landing in fields near homes. You can just imagine people stumbling outside, right, in the dark.
Totally bewildered, trying to figure out what on earth has happened.
And, there were those initial reactions, and someone joked it was a pressure cooker gone wild.
Yeah, or the alien spaceship theory.
I love that one. But seriously, it shows how out of the ordinary this was. People try to find any explanation.
That very human thing, isn't it? Trying to fit the unbelievable into a familiar box. But the reality, well, it started coming out, and it was much more grounded and worrying.
Definitely not Little Green Man. Some of the stuff was big. Yeah. They said pieces the size of a scooter.
Scooter-sized, yeah. Significant chunks.
And get this. In a wheat field near Hoshiarpur, a farmer finds this cylindrical object, wires sticking out. I mean, you can almost see the UFO angle for a second.
You almost can. But no, this wasn't random space junk falling. Not at all. This is a very specific, very tense context.
Right. These weren't just bits falling from the sky. They were artifacts, you could say, tied to a real conflict that was heating up.
Exactly. To really get why missile bits landed in Punjab fields, we need to step back just a couple of days.
Okay, so let's rewind. May 7th, India launches something called Operation Sindoor. What was that?
So Operation Sindoor was India's response to a really bad terror attack in Pahalgam. Happened a couple of weeks before, late April, many lives lost.
26, I think.
Yeah, a terrible number. So India described Sindoor as focused, measured, and non-escalatory. Precision strikes, basically. Missiles aimed at 9 alleged terror camps.
Where were these camps?
Across the border. In Pakistan itself, and also in Pakistan-administered Kashmir, the part of Kashmir Pakistan controls.
Okay. And the goal was?
Publicly, at least, the aim was to hit back for Pahalgam, send a message, but without, triggering a full-scale war.
A non-escalatory operation, they called it.
Yeah.
How did Pakistan take that?
Well, not well. Predictably, maybe. They condemned it strongly, called it unprovoked aggression.
And they didn't just condemn it, did they?
No. They promised retaliation. And that promise, that's the direct line to what happened on the night of the 8th, leading into the 9th.
So the retaliation came quickly. By the very next day, May 8th, we start hearing about Pakistani drones, maybe even missiles, heading towards India.
That's right. The response was almost immediate.
Now, India has that S-400 air defense system, right? Supposedly pretty advanced.
Very advanced. It's a long-range system designed exactly for this kind of thing, intercepting planes, missiles, drones.
And they claim some success.
They did. They reported shooting down 8 drones, and they also claimed they downed a Pakistani F-16 fighter jet.
Although Pakistan denies the F-16 part.
Correct. Pakistan hasn't confirmed losing a jet, but India maintains they intercepted multiple threats.
But even with good defenses, stuff can get through. Or, like you said, the debris comes down anyway.
Exactly. No system is absolutely perfect. And that brings us right back to those fields in Hoshiarpur and Bathinda and the debris found there.
Because this wasn't just any old scrap metal falling. That piece in Hoshiarpur, they identified it pretty quickly, didn't they?
Yes. Part of a Chinese-made PL-15 air-to-air missile.
Which the Pakistan Air Force uses.
That's right. And the PL-15. Well, that's a serious piece of kit.
What makes it so significant? Air-to-air means launched from a plane, right?
Correct. Launched from a fighter jet to take down another aircraft. And it's what they call a Beyond Visual Range Missile, BVR.
So the pilot firing it doesn't even need to see the target.
Pretty much. It has a very long range. The export version, maybe up to 145 kilometers. It's incredibly faster than Mach 5.
Wow.
And it's got this really advanced guidance system, an ASE radar seeker, active electronically scanned array, makes it very, very hard to jam or evade. Think of it like a super smart, super fast dart, basically.
And the specific bit they found in Hoshiarpur, what part was it?
It was a decent chunk of the missile body, but crucially, it included that AS seeker, the smart part.
That sounds Sensitive.
Extremely. I actually saw a defense analyst commenting online on X, I think, saying how surprised they were to see that kind of tech just lying in a field, not in a secure vault somewhere.
Right. So what does it mean that a piece of this PL-15 ended up there on Indian soil?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? There are a few possibilities.
Well,
Could be it was fired and malfunctioned, a misfire, or maybe it was damaged in flight.
or maybe intercepted, shot down by the Indian defenses.
That's definitely possible. The S-400 or maybe even fighter jets intercepting it, causing it to break up and fall. Or perhaps it just failed to acquire or hit its intended target.
Each of those tells a different story about what happened up there.
Exactly. Was it a failed Pakistani strike? A successful Indian defense? Or just technical failure? It raises big questions about Pakistan's capabilities and intentions. Finding that Seeker relatively intact is interesting.
And then you add in the other piece of the puzzle, the debris down in Bathinda. That had Russian markings.
Apparently so, yes. Which suggests a totally different weapons system, maybe a surface-to-air missile this time, fired from the ground.
So are we talking a mix of weapons being used or something else entirely?
It certainly looks complex, maybe a multi-pronged attack using different systems, or maybe different types of failures or interceptions. The Indian military must be working hard to piece it all together. It's like a jigsaw puzzle, but you're missing maybe half the pieces right now.
Well, the military deals with the hardware. You think about the people, right? The villagers waking up to that.
Oh, absolutely. It's one thing for us to talk about it, quite another to live through it.
Imagine. In places like Jethawal, Makanwindi, Pandar near Amritsar, they heard the bangs, saw fireballs in the sky.
Total shock and confusion. I read about one guy, Parkash Singh. His first thought was a gas cylinder exploding.
A gas cylinder. It just shows how you grasp for the normal explanation first.
Totally. And it wasn't just the noise. Some people actually took selfies with the debris later, which is brave, or maybe just surreal.
A bit of both, maybe.
Yeah.
But the authorities reacted fast. Blackouts imposed in Gurdaspur from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Standard procedure in these situations, try to make targeting harder, protect civilians.
And schools shut down in 6 border districts. Firozapur, Fazilka, Gurdaspur, Amritsar, Pathankot, Tarn Taran.
Huge disruption for families, obviously.
Plus, Punjab police canceled all leave, all hands on deck.
That tells you how serious the security situation was perceived to be. Heightened alert across the board.
But, amidst all that fear and disruption, what really stands out is the resilience.
Oh, absolutely. These border communities, they've lived with this kind of tension for decades, haven't they?
Yeah. I read about this farmer, Subhash Sharma, in Fazilka. His land is right up against the border fence, 12 acres.
Right near the action.
And even with all the restrictions, the BSF presence, he was still out there, working his fields.
Just getting on with life. It's incredible.
And there was even talk, apparently, some villagers looking at the debris and wondering about its scrap value.
Haha. Well, that's pragmatism for you. But it speaks volumes about their spirit, doesn't it? Adapt, endure, keep going.
It really does. And remember, this wasn't just a one-off that first night. The next day, May 8th, there was more.
Yeah, it continued.
More debris found near Amritsar in Jethawal.
Yeah.
6 explosions reported in just 7 minutes there. Another blackout.
Wow, 6 and 7 minutes. Intense.
Then an explosion near the big National Fertilizers Limited plant in Bathinda. Drones neutralized near Jalandhar. Another attack foiled near Hoshiarpur.
It really felt like the whole border region was suddenly active, a live theater almost. Someone described it like Pakistan turning Punjab into a real-life Call of Duty level.
It's a grim analogy, but you can see why they'd say it. Civilians caught right in the middle.
And the Indian response ramped up too, beyond just the immediate border.
Right. Blackout spread, Chandigarh, Mohali, Pathankot, even into parts of Haryana and Rajasthan.
That indicates a much wider alert status.
And air raid sirens in Jammu. That sound. It really brings it home.
Chilling, absolutely.
And then, the thing that probably registered with a lot of people across India, they canceled the IPL cricket match in Dharamsala.
Now that's serious business in India. Canceling cricket.
It is. Plus, flights suspended from Chandigarh, Amritsar, Dharamsala. Air India canceled flights to 9 cities.
So major disruption to normal life far beyond the border zones. It shows the ripple effect.
But amidst all the tech and the strategy and the disruption, there was a real human tragedy.
Yes.
Back on May 7th, actually, in Bathinda district, a Klian Kalan village, a farm laborer, Govind, from Haryana. He was killed.
What happened there?
An aircraft crashed in the field where he was working. unidentified at first.
Oh no.
The villagers rushed to help, thinking they could rescue the pilot. But instead, they found Govin's body.
Heartbreaking. Just caught in the wrong place at the absolute worst time.
And the speculation, which seems pretty strong now, is that the crashed aircraft was an Indian Air Force Rafale fighter jet.
A Rafale, one of their top-line jets.
Yes, possibly shot down, maybe by one of those PL-15s we talked about.
Wow. That would be a significant loss.
It was later confirmed, actually. A French intelligence official confirmed the loss of an Indian Rafale. Photos of wreckage even circulated, showing a tail fin with a serial number.
Okay. So a confirmed hit.
Although Pakistan claimed they shot down 3 Rafales, India has been much more reserved, confirming the one.
Always hard to verify claims in the heat of the moment, but one confirmed loss is still huge.
And the crash site itself, only about 12 miles from the Bathinda Air Force Station.
So close. A grim reminder of how near the conflict came and the real human cost involved.
So where does that leave things now, as of today, May 9th?
Well, Punjab is still very much on high alert. The army is active, combing fields, looking for more debris, maybe unexploded ordnance.
Yeah, you mentioned the selfies. I read the Amritsar administration actually had to put out messages telling people not to touch or go near suspicious objects. Stop taking selfies with potentially live explosives.
Can you imagine? But yes, the immediate priority is safety, security, and figuring out exactly what happened. The investigation is ongoing.
And the big question hangs in the air, right? What next? Does this escalate further?
That's what everyone's wondering. On one side, you could say Pakistan's retaliation seems to have been, well, not very successful, largely intercepted or failed. India's defenses held up.
Right.
But the tensions are sky high. The trust is zero. The risk of miscalculation or one side deciding to push harder, it's still incredibly high. It feels very precarious.
Like a game of brinkmanship.
Exactly, a dangerous game. And Punjab is sort of the unwilling referee caught right in the middle with the whole world watching nervously.
It is just surreal, isn't it?
Yeah.
High-tech missiles falling into wheat fields, peak 2025 absurdity, maybe?
It really highlights the bizarre clash of modern warfare and rural life.
You picture a farmer finding this thing,
Yeah.
this piece of advanced military hardware, and just shaking his head. It's got crops to worry about, livestock, the weather.
And then you hear about gurdwaras, the Sikh temples, making announcements, warning people about missile debris. It's a dark kind of irony.
Oh, and we can't forget the ultimate war crime, canceling the IPL match.
Yaha! Yes, that definitely hit home for many.
But seriously, through all this madness, what really comes through is that Punjabi spirit, that resilience.
It's undeniable. This region has seen centuries of turmoil, invasion, partition. Hardship is woven into its history.
And yet, life goes on. Farmers farm, kids play. You know, people are still planning weddings, living their lives despite everything.
That deep connection to the land, the strong community bonds, it creates this incredible strength, this ability to endure and persevere.
So yeah, the fields might have missile fragments now, symbols of conflict.
But the people working those fields, living their lives, that's the testament to human grit, isn't it?
Absolutely. The debris is the crisis, but the response, that's the hope. Life, resilience, it finds a way, even when the unexpected, the frankly terrifying, literally falls out of the sky.